Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing a reading on the cast of Bling Empire. If you're not sure where this is or what this is a Netflix series. I've been binge watching this. When I say binge watching, this among other shows, but this one actually caught my eye, and immediately one of my friends told me, this is a good show to watch, and I was immediately hooked from the first episode. If you kind of remember Selling Sunset, this is kind of like California-esque. It is the Asian community, kind of like living their best life out there, very bougie. These are people that have wealth or that are working hard to create like an empire. And so I'm going to be going through the cast, not maybe all of them, but I'll try to cover as many. I'm not going to be doing this like very in depth, but just giving you the insights and things that I see. So we're going to start off with Kevin. He's the male model born in South Korea, but he was adopted and raised in Philadelphia. And he is the one that you see here that is shirtless, basically. Again, he's very attractive, and I kind of feel like he uses his sexuality in so many ways throughout the series, but also in real life to kind of, have his way, and get his way in certain things. He is like what we would call a pretty boy in so many ways, and I mean that very respectfully. But that's what I kind of feel. I also kind of feel like there is a void in when it comes to his life because of his his situation and his background, where he comes from, being adopted. I think there was like an adoption type of situation going on. But I feel like in so many ways that he is going to have some issues when it comes to like love life and having a serious relationship and gravitating towards that. I also feel like there's a lot of pressure for him kind of like to do what he does as far as like his career. But when this is all said and done, when Bling Empire ends, or etc., like what does he do from there on? I kind of feel like he wants to get into acting. I know that this would be considered already acting, what he does now, but I kind of feel like he will be pulled into acting in some ways. But I also feel like he will have something eventually done cosmetically. I don't know if this is like on his face, but I do get that he will have some kind of cosmetic procedure done as well. And I do feel like one of the people that he would be in a relationship is not going to be, in the long term. It will be someone that is Caucasian. I don't feel like this person would be Asian at all, or Korean. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. If you follow him and you follow Anna Shay, Anna Shay is part Japanese and part Russian. She is a rich lady, born into wealth, a socialite. And basically her father's company is the Pacific Architects and Engineers. Or her fortune comes from selling her father's company, Pacific Architects and Engineers. So she is very bougie on the show. I feel like she is also very sensitive when it comes to energies around her. So I do feel like she struggles a lot, specifically with other people and their energies, and it can affect her. So she is part of empath, and I don't know if she even realizes this, but it's like she can read energy from other people very, very well. The thing is that I feel like she has got kind of caught up in this world of luxury and things, and it kind of does diminish her view on certain things that are happening in other people's lives. She's not selfless. I don't feel like, I don't feel like she's selfish, not selfless, but selfish, but I don't feel like she's necessarily selfless either when it comes to her relationships and friendships out there. And you will see, who she in the series, if you look at it, like who she's with, which is a much younger guy. But I just feel like she is at a point in her life where she doesn't really care. She's going to say what she wants to say, but there is a need for her to always have control. And that's the thing that is going to be kind of like a very isolating in the future, because I feel like a lot of the people that she would be friends with or acquaintances with would go away. And you would think that, well, she's rich, she doesn't need them, she can make new friends. But that's not the point here. It's like recognizing your in this lifetime, recognizing your shortcomings, recognizing the things that kind of need to be recognized, because if you don't, what happens, we carry that into the next life, and we carry that into repetitive reincarnations of ourselves when we come back. Now, a lot of people that would be listening to this that may be from the Asian culture may not believe necessarily in reincarnation, and some people do. I must say that I did like that this show had like a shaman come in, a psychic, that and I don't want to give you too many details, but you will see that, and I feel like they are kind of open to spirituality. The fact that they brought somebody in like that, into the show. Kane Lim is a real estate developer and investor from Singapore. Family interests in real estate, shipping, oil, and tankers. So with Kane, he's a very interesting personality. I kind of feel like he is bigger than life in some ways. But I kind of feel like there is definitely this emptiness as well when it comes to like relationships and things of that nature with Kane. So it's going to be very, very interesting how this all, affects Kane. But I kind of feel like Kane is someone that is struggling, really is just struggling in life. And I feel like he hides behind the relationships, or friendships rather, not relationships, but friendships, to find happiness and to be happy. But I feel like apart from all of that, being very busy and being in real estate and whatnot, it's not necessarily fulfilling on so many levels. It can be, but I feel like there is this emptiness and this void at times to hide behind all of that and stay very, very busy. Christine Alexander, oh my God, is it Chiu? She is so gorgeous. She is a couture collector from Taiwan who manages her husband's cosmetic surgery clinic. And she's married to Dr. Chiu, which is Gabriel Chiu, who's a plastic surgeon and husband of Christine Chiu, said to be the 24th direct descendant of Song Emperor. So it's very interesting, their dynamic. Dr. Chiu, or I hope I'm saying that right, or Gabriel, I'm just going to say Gabriel, he wants a child from Christine. She's very, she had already a child. She's like, I'm not going to be sacrificing my pretty body to give you another child. And I feel like, for her, she said, the whole narrative was that in that culture, in his family's culture, that she was shunned basically because of the fact that she didn't produce a male heir. If you don't produce a male heir for the husband, then basically the family doesn't really acknowledge you until you do so, because that's what they wanted. And she finally had that male child, and so she feels like she was kind of like outcast for so many reasons, from that family, but yet she stuck it out and is still in the marriage. The thing here is that I feel like their marriage is kind of superficial. I feel like Dr. Chiu does love her, but I don't feel necessarily like she is really in love with him. I feel this very disconnect in the relationship. It is, I'm sure that there is love there, but it's not reciprocated all the time. And I feel like with her, eventually she's going to get out of that relationship because there is going to be somebody younger, and if she doesn't, the only other thing that I can see her doing, and again, I hate to say this, but I'm that psychic that says everything and doesn't bite his tongue, is that she's going to end up having extramarital affair outside of the marriage, because she's not happy in the marriage, and it's very evident. I do feel like she gravitates towards things that are very superficial, which is the materialistic things. And you'll find in the show, it's very interesting that she actually has a weird kind of competitive nature with Anna, and I kind of feel like that's wrong on so many things, and I really do side with Anna on the way that how she interprets things. It's kind of like Christine uses riches and uses things of that nature, luxury items, and I'm not going to tell you everything about it. You have to look at the show, to kind of, she uses that to kind of like say, I'm better than you. And I feel like, again, this is like ego, unhealthy ego from Christine. And this is something that she has to really work on very, very well. Like, I feel like she doesn't have a humble bone in her body at times. I'm sure that she is humble. I'm not trying to like talk smack about her. I think she's fabulous and she's over the top. I really like her energy. I just don't necessarily feel like she would come across as real. I think that she's perceived by a lot of people as being fake. Not necessarily that she's like fake, fake all the time, but it's the way that she kind of carries herself and the things that she says. I don't feel like she thinks them through to say them to people. And this is going to be something, again, where she would be like Anna down the road, feeling kind of like isolated and lonely at times, and maybe at one point, having a lot of people that are your friends, but they're really fake friends, are not real, because they're too scared. They're walking on pins and needles because they're not sure what you're going to do to them or what you're going to say. But I kind of feel like she's in her own little world. She does like the luxury lifestyle. She loves being married and having all these perks from the marriage. But I kind of feel like if she wasn't married to Dr. Chiu and it was any ordinary other person, she would already be single, because I don't feel like she is going to really be with anyone that is poor, so to speak. I see her being more with someone that is wealthy. And then we have Kelly Mi Lee. I like Kelly. She's an entrepreneur and producer born in China who is dating Andrew Gray. Now, the relationship with Andrew, he's very toxic. He's the toxic masculinity. They have this thing where they kind of break up in the show. People are trying to hook her up with Kevin. But the thing is with Kelly, I feel like she's really sweet-natured and she will find the right guy. I do not feel like it's Andrew. I feel like Andrew, again, is very toxic. I think he can be very physically and verbally abusive, and I feel like there's things that we don't see in the show that maybe they're over dramatized in some way. But I kind of feel with Kelly, she's going to gravitate towards an older, more mature man when she does, and I feel like there still will be like a 3-year period before she actually meets that person. And I do feel like he is very well off financially, and I do feel like he could be tied to Europe or have some business dealings in Europe. So it's going to be very interesting how this plays out with her. I kind of feel like she's also feeling very judged at times. So she's a sensitive, and when it comes to her energy and how she is treated by other people, she can be very, very sensitive, and that can affect her mental well-being. So with her, the thing that I kind of see throughout her lifetime is a battle with depression. Even though we see this luxury lifestyle, we may see her feeling a little... So we see with her, that there is going to be this kind of depression I kind of feel like she will kind of grapple with. So if she's not careful, these are things that I feel like she has to be more verbal and more communicative. She holds a lot of things in without, with a fear of being judged. And you'll see on the show what I mean when you look at, she kind of wants to keep her private life private. But at the same time, she needs to know that there are people around her that do care for her, because if, she doesn't get these emotions out, they will be something that kind of turns into bitterness and can affect her down the road, and also affect relationships, even with the one that I said that I see her with in the future. So it's very interesting. And then we have... is it Cherie Chan or Cherie Chan? She's an heiress and former singer. She's really sweet. I don't really pick up too much on her, and I feel like she, is in this to kind of, just have friends. I feel like she's in her own little world. She's very, she doesn't have a lot of karmic baggage. I feel like she, is kind of living the life that she wants to live, and it feels very balanced. But then we get into... let's see here. Kim Lee, she's the DJ and former model, raised by her Vietnamese mother, but searches for her father in series 1. So you'll be able to see that story with Kim Lee. She is a DJ, I believe, also, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I said DJ. So she is very much interested in Kevin. I feel like she has this chemistry with him, but I also feel like she is very much a fiery individual. And so with her, I do see throughout her lifetime she's going to have issues with other women and other people in general, because I do not feel like she's very loyal when it comes to friendships, and I do feel like this is an immaturity on her part, where she is going to eventually grow up and kind of get to that level. But again, it's all about how life has treated her. I feel like she's kind of spoiled on some level. There is this entitlement type of mentality that she does have, and that can get the best of her. And you'll see her dynamic with Anna in the actual show, and the thing that she does, is very disrespectful, going to someone's home, and you'll see about that. But I kind of feel like with her, there's just a lot of maturity still that needs to occur, and I do feel like she needs closure about her father, even though Kevin and the other guy that I mentioned, they went on a soul search journey to kind of find her her father in the series. I don't want to give too much what happens, but you'll find out. I feel like that was a breaking point. It was a healing, a partial healing for her, but there's still so many unleft answers about her father, and how did he feel about her, etc. So we will, you will see that. When I don't know if I mentioned her love life, but I do feel like there will be some struggles when it comes to her love life. Eventually, she's going to have to sort out some of her lifestyle, and I see a career change for her, because I don't feel like she's happy ultimately being a DJ. That is something that is definitely going to kind of burn out. So I feel like she's going to do something maybe in the entertainment world, beauty world as well. So I don't know, but there's a career shift or change for her within the next, I would say the next 2 to 3 years as well. And then that is basically it. There's a couple of other. There's Jessie Lee, and there's Jamie. I think Z and Guy Tang, but I won't do those, because I'm just wanting to focus on the main, to me, who are the main characters of, or cast members of Bling Empire. So I want to thank you for tuning in. If you did like this reading, please give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to book a private psychic reading, you can go to my website at www.raymondguzman.net. Blessings and love and light. Until next time. Bye.